Check. Sorry about that. Meant to turn this up. Anyway, for those who are about to come, for those who come, thank you for joining. Today we're gonna be breaking down my track about last night. We're gonna do a mix breakdown. A lot of people have been asking me for this, in like the audio engineering space. So I'm gonna do that. All right. So guys, if you are new here, please consider subscribing. I will be doing this every week, on the weekends, and just doing like mix breakdowns, production streams, talking about like audio. I'm gonna start a podcast soon as well. If you guys don't know, there is already one stream up that you can check out if you want, on like my channel. So just go to my channel, go to the live tab, and then you can see everything. So we'll just wait for the track to load up, which shouldn't take too long, and then we'll start. So yeah, also follow me on Instagram if you guys want like daily updates of when I'm going live and all that stuff. It's only gonna be during the weekends, so when you guys get the chance, tune in. You don't have to stay for the entire stream, but if you guys are interested, consider subscribing. All right, just wait for this thing to open. I'll play some music in the meantime. I have been listening. Oh yeah, speaking about music, right? Oh my god, there's this new album. This one, sort of new, not very new. Why can't I hear myself? Hold on. Where's it coming from? That's weird. Okay, probably armed myself. Okay, sorry. I armed myself on the channel. My bad. So anyway, mix breakdown. Oh yeah, give me a second. Hello. Yes, are you at my location? Sorry about that. Yeah, just got some takeout because it's I'm hungry. So yeah, so I was talking about this song. Gonna break it down, talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay. Honestly, so I was saying this album. So obviously this band is like amazing, and I've been listening to Avenged Sevenfold for like a super long time. I've been listening to them since like 2009, I think. No, not 2009. A little later, probably 2014. Yeah. I first got like into them on Afterlife. I listened to Afterlife. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy, And then I bought BO2, and it was so funny, right? Because like I had listened to Afterlife, and then I kind of like put it off for a while. I didn't really like, move forward from there. But then like post that, after I started playing BO2, which was COD Black Ops 2. I had this like Xbox. I used to play on my Xbox. So I'm playing BO2, right? And I'm playing the campaign. Cause yeah, I mean I'm one of those people who play the campaign, right? But anyway, so I'm playing the campaign, and at the end of the campaign, there's this cutscene, right? With Avenged Sevenfold and like Raul Menendez and like all of them like playing like a live show, and it was so sick because like I had known about them in the past, but like I didn't really get a chance to like listen to their music full-fledged. But then after I heard Carry On, I was like, oh my god, this band is crazy, right? So I've been following them ever since. like ever since like then. So I was there when, and it was like, it was crazy because like obviously I didn't experience the albums like when they put it out, but I start listening to the rest of the albums, like, because I'm listening to it on like YouTube and stuff, like all their past albums, and I'm just like, holy shit, like this is some crazy stuff, this sounds mad. And it did. And I was like immediately obsessed. Like Waking the Fallen was like probably like my favorite like album by them. Waking the Fallen. City of Evil was like amazing. I remember like when I used to like work out, and I used to like, back then I don't do that shit anymore. I should though. Anyway, so back when I used to like, back in like 9th 10th grade, when I used to work out, and I'm sitting in the gym, and like I'm on like a cycle, I'm on a treadmill, I'm like blasting City of Evil, right? I'm like blasting it on my headphones, and I'm just like, whatever, and it just like it always got me pumped up. And yeah, that, and then Nightmare came out. Like I mean, I listened to Nightmare, right? And I was obsessed with like every single one of their albums. I think every single one of their albums are like, they have their own like sort of, they have their own sort of magic to them. But then they dropped like Life Is But a Dream, right? And I'd be honest, after Hail to the King, I kind of like, after Hail to the King and like half of the stage, I just like put them off for a while, because I didn't really want to, I mean, I was into other stuff. I was in college, I was listening to like, I was listening to like progressive, and I was listening to like all this like different like genres. I was trying to expand my like horizons. And yeah, I'm listening to all this stuff, and then so I wasn't like really listening to them like for the stage. And after the stage, they put out like one other album. I think it was no, Stage was the last album, right, before Life Is But a Dream. So then they took like a 5-year break, and then they put out like Life Is But a Dream. When I listened to, I'll just get straight to it. When I listened to this album, oh my god, dude, I literally had like a psych experience. There's something about this album that's just like, it's so brilliant. The way it's crafted. And if you guys haven't listened to it, I highly recommend you guys listen to this album. Listen to it, like, even if you're not like, even if you're not a metal enjoyer, even if you don't like metal, listen to it, because it is so good. It is one of the probably the best like heavy metal albums I've heard, or even if you can call it heavy metal, probably avant-garde metal, but like one of the best albums I've heard in the past year, hands down. Seriously, I am so blown away. And like the direction they took with this album is so different from what they've done like in the past, because in the past they've always like sort of done like a back and forth between like their styles that they were familiar with. And the stage had some pretty interesting stuff with like their direction with like electronic elements. Like there was a lot of like synths and like a lot of that stuff. But this album took like a completely different direction, right? It took a completely different direction, and it just turned it into something else. It was really great. So yeah, so listen to it, okay? It's a great album. I probably think you'd like be able to learn a lot from like listening to this. Anyway, let's get into the track. So about last night, where do I start? Let me start with the instrumentation. Yeah, so it's a pretty big track, but then again, it's a pop track, right? So I started off with a piano. Like that's the first thing you hear in the track, the whole, right, that whole deal. So I used the Arturia's Piano V3, which is like a really nice plugin. And since it was kind of heavy on my PC, I made it into audio. I bounced it to audio, froze it to audio, and then took that audio and just like duplicated it, right? So we just have that loop going. Let me just solo it out. Yeah, so the whole time it's like very like groovy, right, from the get-go. And once the bass starts coming in, or like once the guitar starts coming in, it starts to add that like harmony to it, this deal. think I double tracked this. Pretty sure I did. Yeah. Right. And then the shakers come in, right? So this shaker was one that my sister got me from Expo. So she was at Expo and she got me like these I think they're called kashakas. I'm not sure. Wait, let me check what they're called. I'm pretty sure they're called kashakas. Wait, no, I'm spelling that wrong. Kashakas or shakas. Yeah. So these things, right? They're like two balls filled with like with rice or whatever, and they have threads on like opposite ends, and then when you shake them they make like a sound of a shaker, right? But there's like a way to play them. There's probably like this viral Instagram video or like, you know, this shot that you've seen somewhere, but yeah, that's what it was. And then I just held that and I was just like, you know, was just grooving with it. I recorded it with this mic, and through a little bit of I think it was, yeah, there was no effects on this. I literally put no effects on this. I just recorded it dry, and yeah. And since it was like, you know, really treble, I just let it like sit in the background, just like that, right? So let's actually mute the vocals, because I don't want the vocals to come through just yet. I'll take it, you know, from after I finish it. So right, and the bass starts coming in. Right, the bass I'm pretty sure was, yeah. That fun story about that is actually a VN. So yeah, so let's like mute that as well. Anyway, the bass was recorded again by me at home. Just did a little bit of like selective EQ, because this actually might look like kind of funny, but I wanted to boost those highs because I wanted to get like that grit out of the thing. Again, like in my last stream, I threw auto-tune on it because, you know, it's pretty great. So when it's on an instrument, just like I said, it just adds that sort of, you know, character to it and that texture to it. So yeah, so added that, and then like this like comes in with the bass, just like giving it like that, you know, that sort of like, threw in like a ton of shit on this, to be honest, to get the tone that I wanted, because I'll be honest, my bass that I'm using right now is so shitty. It's such a bad, like, it's not a bad bass, but it's not a good bass either, you know. Like, it's not like a Fender JP or something, and I'd much rather get that Fender JP sound on this, or like that Rickenbacker sound on this, because it just like, it has that high end, and there's like, you know, you can actually hear the string attack, versus this like this completely shitty, like, you know, bass that I have sitting back over there. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right there, and it's just so bad, you know. I mean, the pickups are like really, really bad. So I had to do like a ton of surgical work on this. After the EQ, I threw it in a Dark Class Ultra on the vintage, you know, setting. There are two settings. There's the B7U setting, which is the modern one, and then like the micro tubes, and then you have the vintage ones. I was running it through the vintage with like a preset from Henrik Odd. Shout out to Henrik Odd. He's the bassist of Dirty Loops. If you guys don't know Dirty Loops, I don't know why you shouldn't be watching this. So anyway, so yeah. So through that on, then like added like this saturator thing, stock saturator, Ableton stock saturator, with this preset called mid-range fattener, and I think I turned the drive up a little bit more because I just wanted that mid-range to come out. Then compressed it, and then put a little more EQ just to get those highs out, and this is what it ended up sounding like. Again, sounds bad. I know it sounds really bad, but in the context of the track, I think it probably adds like that, you know, that character. Yeah. It just sounds better, man. Like, I don't know, it just fills in the space, you know. Okay, then this is this little fill, which I got so many questions of. Everyone asked me like, did you make that sound? Did you like go to the mic and did you do? I wish I did. I didn't really think about that. This is a Kashmir sample. Yeah, it's just a little like short fill. Just wanted to add that in there. Gave it like a little bit of, you know, like a little ear candy right before the main groove started. And then obviously, fun fact about this track, none of the drums that you listen to are they weren't recorded. All of them are loops, right? Which I find like personally works for like, and again, right, if it works, it works. I'm not gonna like hide and say like, oh my god, no, I recorded the bass. No, I'm not gonna do that. If it works, it works. I used Kashmir's sample pack on this. I think it was 4. I'm pretty sure it was 4. Yeah. So I used that on this, and yeah, just had it running in the background, like, you know, kind of giving it that color. I changed it up during the chorus and stuff for the hook, just to like get a little bit more drive into it, which is why the groove changes like around the chorus. But all the drums, hands down, every single one of them is a loop. Threw an EQ on there just to see if, you know, it needed anything, but Kashmir loops are fucking awesome, so didn't need to really do anything. And I didn't throw any, I didn't do anything on it. The processing was like fine, you know. So yeah, did that, and then the bass comes in, right? Okay, another question. I don't know if you guys are hearing it, but there's this like one thing in the background. Let me pull it up. It's I think it's, no wait, no, it's not this. Hold on. It is this one. Yeah. So if you guys listen to the pre-chorus, the words go like, you know, get into a taxi, then the driver asked me, and like, cause it was a taxi, cause it was like, you know, like a taxi, right? Cause it was a car. Yeah. Bruno's in the background. What's up, Bruno? Where's Bruno? He was in the background. I think he is now with Arian. Anyway, hi Valroy. Nice to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. So yeah, so I got a lot of questions about like what that sound is, you know. And since it was a taxi, right? Since we're talking about a car here, this sound was like a sound effect that I got from YouTube of like, you know, when you turn the signal on in a car, like when you turn the turn signal on and then the blinker goes like, you know, click, 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 or whatever. Just listen to it. Right? So I just turned that and then I warped it to the tempo and it sounded great, man. Like, listen to it in context, okay? Like, it adds this really nice, like, offbeat sort of, like, you know, vibe to it that just works. I don't know. And then, yeah. Now, actually, post this, right? Post that whole, like, deal. There's a ton of different stuff coming in. There's this one lead. It sounds like this. Yeah, so that's just like I just recorded like a little like loop on my Fender, my Strat, and then like just threw that in. And then this is like another sample by Kashmir, which is like just, you know, the choke, like sort of like, you know, the let me just play it. Yeah, so the same idea, right? So I just did that, and then when you play that along with this lead, right? It sounds like this. Yeah, no, so it's not a metronome, right? It's the blinker of the car. You know the turn signal, right? So like when you click the thing up, how do I say, the turn indicator, man. Like, you know, the blinker that tells you that you're turning left or right. So you turn that on, and then it goes tick, 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 tick. Yeah, indicator. So I just got I got a sound of the indicator on like YouTube. I think it was like a Chevrolet or something. I don't know. I was just looking for like, you know, because it seemed like a good idea at the time, and then it just worked. Like, I just warped it to like, you know, and I made it go like around you. So I used this one plugin called Around the Head, which is like a preset off of Autopan, which is again a stock plugin by you know, Ableton. Most of my like, and you know, it's crazy because like most of my good shit is like, yeah, the thing that people never use while driving. Yeah, hashtag BMW drivers. Yeah, but totally, yeah, they never use that shit, right? So no, so yeah, so I just like put that in, threw this preset on, and it sounded great, man. So yeah, so just kept it in, and then yeah, so getting back to the lead, so the lead just kind of like, you know, complemented each other with this whole thing, and yeah, after that it was the same loop with like, you know, the guitar that I had like done this whole deal, and with the shaker and everything, like, it just made sense, you know. It just made like a ton of sense. What about, yeah, what else? I think that was about it as far as as far as the, you know, the pre-chorus was concerned. Once the hook came in, like once the chorus came in, yeah, hashtag Dubai and Sharjah. Yeah, you're totally right, man. Those guys, I mean, for real though, I mean, they don't know how to drive, man. I'm just gonna say it. Sorry, but yeah. So yeah, once the hook came in, it was just like, you know, it was this nice like sort of disco loop. So I'll actually play it. So this is, I think it's just like a top end like hat, right? And then that coupled with the beat just gives it like this freaking really nice groove, like, which is like what people love about the song. You know, which is so great because like I never needed to do like any sort of EQ over this, which is like awesome. And in the context of the song, like it just makes sense, you know. Like it's so nice. So yeah, and then the bass. A fun fact about the bass. So I just did like this slappy sort of like thing going on, and it just gave like the bass this like really nice groove. I did a lot of warping on the bass. I did a shit ton of processing on this song because I wanted it to sound like quantized. I wanted it to sound popish. I wanted it to sound polished, you know. So yeah, so the bass sounds like this. I don't know if you guys can hear it because you're on your phones, but for the ones on headphones, you probably will be able to hear it. Anyway, so that grit that's coming out of it is like from the distortion on Dark Glass, right? Again, context of the song just brings like the entire groove together. Yeah, so that's the deal, and the piano stays the same up until the hook gets over, right? And I added like these little like riffs just to like complement the vocal. So if you listen to the song, the first part, right? About last night, yeah. So the first riff you hear is just like, you know, this let me single it out. Right, so that was again my Strat running through Cory Wong, and it was on this, you know, I think this is hold on a second. I think this is a user I think it's a user one, but it's not saved. I don't know. Maybe it's not, maybe it is. Honestly, I don't know. It should be here somewhere. Anyway, the point is that just like I put on what was it called? I put on I think it was the Postal Service. Yeah. So I put on the Postal Service is like a auto wah that this plugin has. So I just turned that on. And then in the context of the song, it just like, it turns like into this, you know, this really nice like sort of vibe. Yeah. And then this. Yeah. The whole thing, like just like complementing the vocal. Had it with these one night stands and 'cause now she's crying about last night. Anyway, so that's the vibe, right? And that's what brings the hook together. And a fun fact, I actually didn't want to play it on the guitar. It was actually supposed to be like a vocal, like, you know, like a vocal sort of, it was supposed to sound like this. Let me actually mute it. I'll show you what it was supposed to sound like. So like, about last night, yeah. Now you be alright, I was actually gonna like, I was gonna hum it or I was gonna ooh it, but I think in the end this worked because it just gives it like this really funky sort of vibe, and now I can't unhear it, you know. Anyway, so I'll turn that back on. Moving to the next section was the solo. This took me a while. It didn't take me a very long time, but it did take me a while. This was the saxophone solo. I just ran this through like auto tune because my saxophone is like, again, it's not like a Selmer, right? It's I bought it off of Amazon for like $300 or something. So yeah. So auto tune, running through that, doing like, you know, very, very harsh tuning, and then that's running again, it's running through EQ8, just removing like some harsh frequencies, and then a compressor, and that's it, right? And that sounds like this. And then I drenched it in reverb, right? I'm using stock reverb, by the way, which is so funny, but anyway, I drenched it in reverb, and that sounds like this. Yeah, so that was the track. So a couple more things to like talk about, which I did not mention, were these plucks. I added like so many plucks, just to get like, you know, this bouncy sort of like vibe. So let's play that. This was a plug in. Yeah, this is Serum, and I'm running a this one called BP Ting or something. A preset called BP Ting, and then the same thing over here is it's also Serum, but it's a different plug. You know, something a little more deeper, just to like kind of fill in that void of like the saxophone being in the highs. So since the saxophone was like in the higher frequencies, I just like put this down to like, you know, the lower frequency. Like I transpose it like an octave low, and it just makes sense, man. Like you can barely hear it, but I think like from a mix perspective, it makes more sense because you're just like you're filling in the gaps basically. That's all you're doing. This was like crazy, right? This whole like this thing in particular, just listen. Yeah, and that would like, so what I done was I had taken like the Punchy Kicks by Kashmir and just put them like, you know, together with the bass, like line them up with the bass, like warp them and line them up, and they just like, it just worked, man. Like, listen to it with the kick, it's mad. Like it sounds so massive, you know. Because you don't hear that punch like throughout the track. You don't hear the kick throughout the track. So it just like brought the whole thing together. The whole like, you know, that whole motive. And when the groove comes back in, it's like it's wild, you know. So yeah. And then like a little short fill again. Like I said, most of these are samples, and I'm not gonna like, you know, I'm not gonna say they weren't, but anyway. So that's another like, you know, fill I added. And then like this is another like disco loop. The same thing, the same hats from earlier, but this time I'm kind of like fading out the drums. So if you hear this, like it's a different loop now. I'm not using the same loop, but it's like fading out, right? And then it just goes into this like the stage 01, now it's 3:30. Now it's 3:30. But trust me, girl, there's no place I'd rather be. That whole deal, because I wanted to like reharmonize it, and then like the grooves comes back in, right? So not much of a difference in terms of like arrangement. I think I just added that little bit of like, you know, delay, because I just wanted it to be like, how do I put it? I just wanted it to be, you know, a little more like some variation, right? Because you hear the same shit over and over again. It's like, oh my god, when is this gonna end? So anyway, the whole taxi thing, and then the fourth bar sounds like this. So it's just the bass, right? But when you bring the vocals in, when you hear it in the context of the vocals, it just sounds like so like complete, you know. Let me play it. Hold on. So
really shouldn't be doing this anymore, but
right, so that deal sounds like really nice. I like it. Cause it just fills in the gaps, and then the hook comes in. I think I added a little more stuff here. This seems like a little more full, like with the plugs. Now I layered like both of the Serum plugs together. And then again the whole loop going with like, you know, the electric, just like duplicated that. And yeah, if it sounds, let me say something, right? If it sounds like it's repetitive, or if it sounds like it's arranged in a sense that's like, you know, duplicated or like copy and pasted, that's what I wanted to go for. I wanted to go for a vibe that was like popish, right? Not necessarily lazy, because there are a ton of like different artists who like use repetition to their advantage. Like, you know, I'm not gonna say anything further than that, but you guys know what I mean. So the next EP is not gonna take that direction, and I already did a breakdown of one of the tracks I'm gonna be putting out on that EP. So if you guys wanna like check it out, just go on the other video on my channel, and you guys can check it out over there. But yeah, so post this, again just the piano, you know, V3 that again just use like this whole deal to like kind of slow things down with the hook, you know, for this last part, right? And then everything comes in. So I think I have like two pianos now. There's like one piano playing this, hold on, right, just like this legato sort of thing. Yeah, like it's still in groove, but it's a little like pedaled with the other piano. Just like, you know, like all these like different grooves going on, and once you put it all together with like, you know, the context of the track, like you can really hear it when you listen carefully. But anyway, that comes in with the bridge. So the same idea from like, you know, the second verse, the whole pum pum pum, right? That, but we're putting it into the bridge now, and the bass is still there, but now the pianos kind of like complement that. Can't believe what you put me through. So actually, I'm actually excited about the next part. Anyway, keep listening. Right, I take out that electric guitar loop just for that bit, just to create like some space, and then I bring it back in. Yeah. And I think this, hold on, I think it was this. Just hear it. Yeah, this. So this actually gave the bridge like its entire vibe, right? So this is Serum working on a preset called Cello, and I really like the way this sounded. It's just like, it's so chill, man, you know. It just fits the vibe. So yeah. And the thing is, I was actually gonna add like a string section to this, but I was gonna add a string section to this, but I don't know, I didn't want to duplicate it. I didn't want to make it seem like, you know, dense and massive. I think after the, you know, after the next couple of bars rather, there was a whole like different thing going on with like arrangement. Anyway, let's listen to this. Post that. This thing. So this is what I want to talk about, right? Because a lot of people were like, how did you like do that? Like, whatever. But yeah. So this was pretty vibe. So here's what I did, right? I put in session strings, right? Session strings 2, and then this is Action Strikes. I don't know if you guys know this this library, Action Strikes. It's awesome. I'm gonna be using it. Actually, I'm gonna be using most of my Kontakt libraries for my cinematic EP, which will be coming out like close to, you know, start of next year, probably right before my album comes out. So yeah, my concept album as in. It's like I'm putting so much music, I was like, it's confusing at this point. But anyway, so yeah, so the Action Strikes is like this I'll just play it for you. It sounds like this. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Right? It's like the cinematic drums. Like I wanted to sound like, you know, I wanted it to sound cinematic just for that bit. And again, the reason I do this is because I tease my next work in my previous work. Now, if you hear any of the songs on my next EP once it's out, you will know exactly what I mean. Okay. Let's listen to this part. These were strings that I arranged. Yeah, just let's give it a listen. These were like in increasing velocities. Yeah, and that in the context of like, you know, the piano, I think. It's the same thing. Okay, well, not exactly the same thing, but you know what I mean. The same vibe. Yeah. So once you like listen to that with the song and like the vocals, because I purposely did the vocals like really softly here, and I was like, you know, like sounding sad almost.
Get into a text.
And there's only one track. There's literally only one track. Like everything else is like layered like 4 or 5, you know, tracks together, but this is just one track, just by itself.
I get into a taxi, listening to Backstreet, saying it could work as long as you loved me. But girl, you didn't even seem to give a damn. Didn't even want to talk about it, so I don't think I can. Now that I'm back, she's acting like she can't.
See what I mean? So that's the vibe that I wanted to go for. Like this very like emotionally driven sort of vibe, and then it gets back into the hook, and that's about it, man. Like there's really nothing else that I did that was like special, apart from like the vocals. And I will break down the vocals right now because we have like a little more time. I shouldn't take too long. Arrangement wise, it's not very special in terms of like, you know, anything, you know, that I've done. It's pretty easy. This is another like workflow optimization thing I do. So I learned this from Andrew Huang. If you guys don't know Andrew Huang, go check him out. He's pretty cool. He does like, you know, the same thing like music production. You know, he's all about music. Andrew is music. I think that's his his handle, whatever. So yeah, so what I do is basically I make a MIDI track. I don't put anything on it. I leave it empty, and then I make like a clip that starts from the start of the song to the end of the song, so that when I have to export it, I don't have to highlight anything. I can just click on this once, and then I just play like, I just press Ctrl Shift R, and then it's just like done, So yeah, so that's what I do. Now let's talk about the vocals. Because yeah, I mean, vocals on this was like pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie. Let's talk about it. So starting out, we'll start with the verse. The verse was just like, and this is actually something I learned off of Make Pop Music. I don't know if you guys know that channel, but Make Pop Music is awesome. They make like really fun content, and all their content, including like, this is inspired by them. Production breakdowns. They teach you how to make like music that sounds like other artists from scratch. I mean, amazing channel. Austin Hull, shout out to you. You're great, man. Mostly like helped a lot of my work, honestly. So yeah. But yeah, I was on Make Pop Music one day, going through like, because I was looking for references, right, as every producer is. And I was just like asking myself, like, how am I know exactly like the sound I want to go for, but I don't know how to like implement it. So I just like I looked up pop vocals on like Make Pop Music, and he came out with this idea where he records 5 stems, right? Now this is not a one cure, like one size fits all thing. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's completely up to your taste. It's just a guideline, right? So the idea is to record 5 vocal parts, right? So you record like, if for guys who don't know how to record and process vocals, this is for y'all. So the way you record and process vocals is you have to record 5 parts. The first part is your main center, which is like mono, right? Dead center. This is going to be your lead vocal. And then the second, or the next 2 parts rather, are a copy of that. Like, so you sing the same thing, but one of them is panned left and the other is panned right, right? So with these 3 tracks alone, you get this massive vocal, right? It's already like dense and huge. Then the next 2 are harmonies, which are your harmony left and harmony right. You can either do like 2 tenors, or you can do 1 tenor, 1 alto. It's up to you. How do you want to do it? I think I did a tenor and alto for this track, and some of them don't sound so great, but then in the context of the song, it kind of like comes together. But anyway, that's the idea. You record 5 parts, and each part is like layered depending on how the song is arranged. So I'll get into what that means. So if you look at like the way I layered it, right, I arranged it in terms of like, the verse was like completely just my voice by itself, and then post that I started adding these harmonies in, just to like get that groove. Like I'll play it for you. I'll show you what I mean.
Now she's gone away. You don't want.
So the Now She's Gone Away, like, wanted to like get that like exaggerated, so I did like a little bit of a harmony on that. So let me play the harmonies by themselves.
Now she's gone away.
Yeah, and in the track,
now she's gone away.
Yeah, so it just gives this like this whole like this really massive like sort of vocal, and then in the context of the track,
now she's gone away.
Right now it's like, okay, this is making sense. Once you start to add like delay and reverb, like you just need like 5 tracks, man. 5 vocal tracks, and your entire track will like sound like crazy. So anyway, I kept this motif going, like with just like these few words highlighted out, for the harmonies. And then once I get into the whole taxi thing,
I could get into a taxi, then the driver asked me.
Same vibe, right? So taxi and Ask Me are like highlighted with the harmonies. And once the bridge comes in, right before the bridge,
Get into a taxi, then the driver asked me.
So now you can start to hear the doubles, right? Now you hear the center copies like on left and right, but they are not copied. It's a double it's 5 tracks, but you get the idea. It's like double tracking, like you would double track for guitars, but instead of double tracking for guitars, you're recording 5 different parts, right? So like I said, main center, main left, main right, and then harmony left, harmony right. And this is like a surefire way of getting a massive like sounding vocal, like a pop vocal, okay? So let's play the lead vocal with the rest of like the centers, and then I'll add the harmonies in.
Get into a taxi, then the driver asked me.
Okay, This is without them.
Get into a taxi, then the driver
flat,
asked me where you
right?
wanna go, sir. Anyway, but here I'm a little
Now
drunker,
they
he
start to,
can
like,
understand.
phase, so you
Just
can,
a
like,
couple
hear it.
drinks later, and you're holding my hand.
Now it's like with the
Get
harmonies.
into a taxi, then the driver asked me where you wanna go, sir. Anyway, but here I'm a little drunker, he can understand. Just a couple drinks later, and you're holding my hand.
Yeah, now it's like okay, now it's making sense. With the track,
Get into a taxi, then the driver asked me where you wanna go, sir. Anyway, but here I'm a little drunker, he can understand. Just a couple drinks later, and you're holding my hand.
yeah, now it's like okay, now it's starting to make sense. And then when the hook comes in, it's like boom, you know, like massive. So you can actually see this here, guys. If I like, you know, make this a little smaller, let me do that. So hold on, give me a sec. Okay, so if you look at like just the hook, right, if just the vocals on the hook, every single vocal from the hook onwards is like probably like 6 parts. So what I did for the hook was I did like a main center vocal, right, obviously. Then after that I did a main left, a main right, and then a harmony left and a harmony right, and then I did this, I did an octave, right? So an octave is like the same idea, but you go into autotune and you turn it down like by 12 like, you know, semitones, an octave down, so you get this like really deep sounding vocal. Wait, can you guys hear it? No, wait, you can't hear it. Hold on, what's going on? Hold on, I think I turned it off. Give me a sec. Oh yeah, I turned my hook off. Okay, my bad. So yeah, listen to it now.
About last night, yeah.
Yeah, that's like low. That's like, that doesn't sound like me, right? And that's the point. The point is it's not supposed to sound like you. It's supposed to sound like something that's gonna like fill the void. And once you start to add this with like all the parts, like okay, let's just try it with the main vocal alone, right?
About last night, yeah.
Like you can already hear that high formant coming in, even though it's low, right? So it's low, but once you play it with the main vocal, it just sounds like really massive. And then the main left and main right come in.
About last night, yeah.
Now it's sounding like a chorus, right? And you bring the harmonies in.
About last night, yeah.
You just like play them by themselves because they actually sound really nice.
Last night, yeah.
Yeah, so you like just play that alone.
About last night, yeah.
Yeah, so they're just highlighting like specific syllables, and then in the context of the track.
About last night, yeah.
So the same idea spread all through the through the hook. The hook wasn't actually very hard to record because it was so small. You know, the lines are really small.
You'll be alright, yeah. I've had it with these one night stands, yeah.
So yeah, so that's how I did like vocals. Now that's how I recorded vocals. Now let's talk about how I process them. So okay, this is gonna be like crazy long, but I'm gonna tell you guys. So I've actually made like a vocal chain on Ableton. If any of my viewers are Ableton users, you can use this. I'll put a link in the description to a drive, drive link where you can download this vocal chain. So I'll just explain the vocal chain very quickly. So it first runs through autotune. This is a vocal chain for like pop vocals, right? I wouldn't recommend this for like anything else, but this was doing like some pretty heavy tuning, right? So let me just play it by itself. Hold on.
How we dance our legs away, how I heard you say.
Right? So it sounds really electric, right? And that's the point. The point is it's supposed to sound electric. I turned FlexTune and Humanize down to like 0 because I didn't want it to sound like, I wanted it to sound like really, really tuned. But not like so tuned, like sure tuned. Anyway, next up is Pre-73, which is by Arturia. I love this on like most of my stuff. I even in my previous video, I've like, I think I put this on like the strings or some shit, but I don't know. It's really great. One of my favorite plugins. It's an emulation of a 73 style preamp by Neve. And yeah, I have it on like everything, man. You just have to like, I just used like a preset, a male vocal preset, and then I adjusted like the input gain based on like, what the track was doing. What I like to do is like right before it hits the clip, so it has like a little VU meter over here. So like right before it like hits that like, the clip and it starts to like turn red. I like to like put it like a little bit before that, just so it gives this like really nice color, right? So that's what I did with that. And this is mostly how I like do vocals. For pop, I will process them in like, first I will like color them, right, with like a really transparent sounding preamp. And this is like, in my opinion, I feel like, and there are a ton of good plugins out there, no offense to them, but in my opinion, like I feel like this did the work for me, so I was happy with it, right? Post this is going in a Maag EQ by these guys are Plugin Alliance, yeah. So again, Maag EQ is awesome. I use this on really everything, and this was just for a little bit of air, and that's actually the main reason why I use this EQ in the first place, because it has this feature where you can select like which, like, so it's basically a shelf. All air is just is like a high shelf boost. So you can select like which frequency you want it to boost from, and then you can like apply like gain to boost those frequencies. So I selected 10 kilohertz, and then just boosted like about 7.5 dB, and then a little boost on 2.5 to get like that presence out, about a 1.5 dB boost, and then a 1 dB boost on 650. I was actually thinking of removing it, but I tried A-Bing it, and when I removed it, it just sounded thin, so I put a little bit in, and then a lot of about a 2 dB boost on 160, and that's the reason it sounds so like heavy and deep, other than the fact that auto-tune is in like low male, and believe me, these modes actually make a difference. But anyway, I untouched the sub is fine. I didn't really boost any of the lows because it didn't seem necessary. So that's what Maag EQ is doing. I'll actually turn off all of them so you can hear what they're doing like one by one. Give me a second. So this is it with auto-tune, right, by itself.
Make my way out of the house, down the road, we haven't spoken in a while now.
I use this mic to record it, and no offense, Lewitt, I love you guys. Most of my tracks are done with Lewitt right now, with this mic in particular. But there's something about this mic that I feel just doesn't bring out the character on my voice very well when I sing. So I'm probably looking into like buying like another microphone, probably like looking into like Rode or something like that. But I mean, most of my EQ decisions are less about what I want my voice to sound like and more about what the mic is making my voice sound like. So the only reason there's a boost in like 650 to begin with is because when I sing into this mic, this mic has like a certain presence boost that I don't like. I hate it. That's the reason I end up putting like those like, I would say, low mids, high mids in. But anyway, so yeah, so that's the idea with the Maag. Okay, let me show you guys. So that was auto-tune, right, alone.
Make my way out of the house, down the road, we haven't spoken.
Okay, and then this is what Pre-73 is doing.
Make my way out of the house, down the road, we haven't spoken.
Like now you can hear the definition, right? Now you can hear like that thing coming in. Let's hear it again.
Make my way out of the house, down the road, we haven't spoken in a while now. Wondering if you're mad at me or thinking about last night. How
yeah, a lot more definition as compared to just like auto-tune by itself. Let's add in Maag EQ.
Make my way out of the house, down the road, we haven't spoken in a while now.
Now you can really hear my like articulation, right? And I recorded this, by the way, I recorded the vocals for this entire EP in this room with like with an isolator. I don't know if you guys know like the Chaotica eyeball. Hold on a second. Are you kidding me? Give me a sec, guys. So if you guys don't know, I mean, most of you all should know, but the Chaotica eyeball. So this is like a rip-off, like that I found on like, it's not a rip-off. I mean, this company is pretty cool, Altron. So I was using this thing. I just like slot this. It has like this hole at the bottom, so I just like slot it on the mic, and then I just sing it on the mic, and that's how I record most of my vocals in this room because they isolate them perfectly, right? And this foam is dense. Like I can't press it like very hard, So it does a good job of like isolating it. I just don't like the pop filter. Altron, if you guys are listening, I know you aren't, but the pop filter on the front, for any of y'all who want to buy this, it's not that great. It's really flimsy. I'm barely touching it and it's bending, so you know how it's gonna act like, in the sense of like shielding like air and like plosives and stuff like that. But anyway, so yeah, I was saying I recorded this entire like all the vocals for this in my room, which is why I think that's another reason why there's no dimension to them, and another reason why I had to like use these plugins to bring that dimension in. Anyway, the next thing is SPL's DSO, which is again a very nice plugin. This is also by Plugin Alliance. Just on the S reduction to like 4. Didn't want to do a lot of work on this. Kept it to auto threshold and on this B mode. So just removing those harsh S's. Let's see how that sounds.
Make my way out of the house, down the road. We haven't spoken in a while now.
So it's doing a little bit of work, not a lot of work. And that was kind of the point. I wanted the vocals to sound crisp. Post this, it's running into Arturia's Comp VCA 65. So this is an over easy compressor based on, I think it's on a VCA. Yeah. So it's just running into this and doing like a really nice job of bringing it together, kind of like tying it together. Let's see how that sounds.
Make my way out of the house, down the road. We haven't spoken in a while now. Wondering if you're mad at me or thinking about.
If you guys look at the gain change, like
make
gain
my way out
reduction,
of the house, down the
it's
road.
barely
We
doing
haven't spoken
anything,
in a while now.
right?
Wondering if you're mad
It's
at me
doing
or
like
thinking about last night
maybe
how we
3-4
danced the
dB.
legs away.
That's it.
How I heard.
and compression is on like a 4 ratio. Turning the output gain to 0. In fact, like I didn't even put any more like makeup gain, which was kind of funny. I just wanted to compress it just to like kind of smush it down, right? That's all this was doing. And then post that, I threw it into a Vertigo's VSC2, which is also by Plugin Alliance. This is like sick. Shout out to Vertigo. You guys make amazing stuff. I think Brainworks also, like, this is like with Brainworks, yeah. So I see a lot of people using this on like bus masters, like bus compressors and stuff. This is I think it's a bus compressor, to be honest, but it's brilliant. It's one of the I would say one of my favorite compressors. I use this on like most of my masters, and I'm pretty sure this is on the master. But anyway, turn that down, and then this one is actually the one that's giving it the most makeup. Almost like 20 something dB of makeup gain, which is massive. But yeah, that's what this is doing. And then finally, so we'll see how it sounds like with it.
Make my way out of the house, down the road.
Now we have like a ton of drive, I would say. And then it runs into tape, I'm guessing Eternity, or no, delay tape, sorry. So this is running into delay tape 201 by Arturia, another one of their really good emulations of like tape delay. I think it was, this is also preset vocal easy with just tuned up a bunch of stuff like I think the intensity and turned up the echo amount. I played with the dry wet a lot because I didn't want it to like echo. I just wanted to like stay in the mix. So
make my way out of the house, down the road. We haven't spoken in a while now.
You can really hear it, right? It's not bad, but it's very, very like it's tasteful. I didn't do it like to blow the mix up. So yeah, in the context of the song,
make my way out of the house, down the road. We haven't spoken in a while now. Wondering if you're mad at me or thinking about last night how we.
Yeah, and now it's like it's perfect, right? It's tied in perfectly with the track. Similar processing on the rest of the tracks. Most of the vocals were done in the same sort of manner. Not really thought about like throwing anything extra on it because there wasn't a need to do that, right? And I wanted it to sound massive, so I basically took that vocal chain I was talking about, that the audio effect track, and I just threw it on like every channel, and that's it. So yeah, so all together. Wait, sorry, give me a second. So yeah.
Get into a taxi, then the driver asked me where you wanna go, sir. But here I'm a little drunk, but he can understand. Just a couple drinks later, and you're holding my hand.
Okay, so now let's like A/B what they sound like without the effects. Okay. Which is something not a lot of artists do, but I do want you guys to hear what it sounds like without any of these effects on my voice. So let's listen to that. 1 second. How bad?
Get into a taxi, then the driver asked me where you wanna go, sir. But here I'm a little drunk, but he can understand. Just a couple drinks later, and you're holding my hand.
Not so different. I mean, I pretty much nailed the vocal takes. And like I said, autotune isn't doing a lot of work apart from just like, pushing me up to like the notes that I need to get pushed to. So yeah.
Get into a taxi, then the driver asked me.
And really, I feel like most of the work is just coming from the EQ. I would have thrown this into like virtual mix track, but it didn't need it. So yeah, that's about it. So yeah, that's how I processed vocals on this. If you guys have any other questions, just put them in the comment section. I'll try answering all of them. And if you guys have any ideas on what you want me to talk about in the future regarding anything audio, right? Anything audio, anything music, just let me know. I will work on it. I have like a bunch of different topics I'm going to talk about. Today I was just doing mix breakdowns. I'm streaming every Saturday around the same time. Like I'm going to stream twice on Saturday. So once in the afternoon, once in the evening. this so the idea is I'm just gonna do like production streams and stuff, but I'm also gonna talk about like my mixing and mastering process. I'm gonna talk about like my favorite plugins, my favorite softwares, how I build like soundscapes, how I do sampling, and then like music theory. If you guys wanna if you guys want any like tips on music theory and like all that stuff, I am also gonna do that. Just put it in the comments. Whatever you guys want, put it in the comments, and I will do I will make content for that. We're gonna also have like a Q&A session. So eventually, like once I get enough viewers, we can have a Q&A session, and I'll answer any questions you guys have regarding the tracks I'm releasing, or regarding where I'm taking this like this whole direction with like the music I'm making and all that stuff. Thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to subscribe and ring the the notification bell, because that'll keep you updated like with whenever I like stream and stuff. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I don't think there's anything else to cover as far as like this track is concerned, because I mastered this track in another project file, which I will break down a little bit later. If you guys want any other breakdowns of any other tracks that I've released so far, just put it in the comments. Yeah, cool. All right, I will close. Take care.